I've been running the car turn signal light bulb experiment for almost a year now, and the bulb has stopped flashing. When I went to check on the circuit, I saw the bulb was stopped flashing even though the power was turned on. I looked at this and saw the bulb burnt out or disconnected message. Tried restarting this a couple of times. Even tried reseating the bulb in the alligator clips to make sure there wasn't a bad contact. But I'm going to restart the program once again to show that the bulb truly has burnt out. The bulb is still connected and everything, but now it's time to measure the continuity of the bulb to see that it has burnt out. I turned off the power supply and I will remove the bulb so we can measure continuity. The bulb is removed. Here is the light bulb, and as you can see, its glass has darkened a little bit due to the filament degrading over time. It's darkened on the side that was facing up, which was this side because the bulb was installed kind of like this throughout the duration of the experiment. If we look very closely, you can see a very small break in the filament showing the burnt out bulb. With a macro lens on a phone camera, you can just very slightly see the broken filament. But now let's do a continuity test. When I touch the probes, the meter beeps. When I touch to the sides of the bulb, the meter is not beeping. If I touch one of these pins, they truly are conductive. But if I touch across the terminals, the bulb is burnt out, open circuit. So an incredibly small break in the bulb's filament resulted in the bulb finally burning out. The final number of flashes recorded before the bulb burnt out was 22,599,679 blanks of the bulb before I tried restarting it. So my program worked as intended by automatically stopping as soon as the bulb burned out. We can also take a look at the save count file, which shows the number of flashes counted. The program saves all the files when it stops. The save count file also shows the same 22,599,679 figure that the terminal showed. Also, we can take a look at the log file. It saves the date and time occasionally and when the program gets stopped, either manually with Control-C or when the bulb burns out. Here is the log file. So it's starting all the way at November 3rd, 2024 with 10 flashes when it first saved, when I had the save interval set to 10. I kept increasing the save interval so that my log file wouldn't fill up like crazy. And here are the last couple of entries. The bulb burnt out here, which happened at October 22nd of 2025 at 2:47 in the morning. At 11:13 a.m. that day, I restarted the program thinking it was an issue with my power supply, and the count stayed the same because the bulb was burnt out. So, this is the end of the turn signal bulb durability test experiment. During the experiment, I also made a modification to the power source using the 12-volt ATX computer power supply's 5-volt standby power source connected to this USB port to power the Raspberry Pi from the same power supply that runs the rest of the circuit. On the voltage converter, I also added some small ceramic capacitors to its input and output to try to help with electrical noise this was producing. The circuit has stayed the same from my first update video when I increased the voltage, and the Python program on the Raspberry Pi has stayed the same except for increasing the data logging interval so that it does not record new entries into the data log as frequently. Another important thing about this experiment is that this is very ideal conditions compared to an actual vehicle. Because in this experiment, there was hardly any vibration, because the lamp was just sitting in that stand the whole time, and this is in a relatively temperature-controlled environment compared to a car. The temperature in this room stays way more consistent than outside, so the temperature range is much narrower than the range of temperatures the light bulb would experience in an actual car, with the car being parked outside in really hot summers or very cold winter and driving in those conditions too. Vibration is probably the most important factor contributing to the lifespan, because in a car with lots of vibration, the lifespan will certainly be shorter than what was measured here. But this has been the end of my light bulb experiment. Make sure to subscribe for more videos.